Okay. Thank you everyone for attending this research talk today. I get the opportunity to introduce Myrthe Swart. She is a fifth year forensic science student from Saxion University. She has been an intern with us now for the past 5 months here in South Africa from the Netherlands. And we are very excited that she'll be presenting her final research with us today. Thank you, Myrthe. You may continue.
All right, thank you, Amy. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Myrthe and I'm currently a forensic science student from the Netherlands. For my internship, I wanted to go to South Africa and I went to the WFA Wildlife Forensic Academy. Here I received a project focused on the development of the wound identification system for Cape fur seals. And the data that I used for my research was obtained through Search. During my presentation, I will provide a brief introduction, then I will present my research question and proceed with the methodology. After that, I will explain my results, followed by the conclusion and the recommendations. And at the end, there will be some time for questions. So Cape fur seals are found in southern Angola, Namibia, and South Africa. The current population is estimated at about 2 million seals. They live both on land and in the sea, which means their habitat is often shared with other animals and or humans. In the water, seals can fall for prey to orca, killer whales, sharks, and even fishermen. On land, seals can become victims of predators like jackals and also humans. In South Africa, it is illegal to kill seals, but it still happens. For instance, seals may be hunted for their fur or killed by stabbing. And additionally, in recent years, rabies has been detected in seals. And when a seal is infected with rabies, it can become aggressive. Moreover, it can transmit to other animals or humans, making it a significant problem. Seals can exhibit a wide variety of wounds, making it challenging to identify the cause of the wound, since injuring or killing seals is illegal. This is essential to distinguish between wounds caused by humans and those caused by other factors, like killer seals, killer whales, sharks, etc. And to expedite this identification process, it is useful to have a tool. This led to the following research question. How can an assessment tool be developed to classify wound types in Cape fur seals based on distinguishable threats and wound patterning associated with different modes of injury, such as blunt force trauma, sharp force trauma, and ballistic trauma? To answer this question, a methodology was established. Search uses iNaturalist to share photos of seals. And in the first step in the research was to search through all iNaturalist images to find seals with wounds. There were about 4,000 images I had to look through. And from those images, I got about 890 images of decomposed seals and seals with wounds. And these images, I started categorizing them in multiple categories based on the different types of wounds. And once the images were sorted, I could start developing the tool, the tester tool, two participants were asked, determined to answer based on the tool. There was also space for feedback before distributing. They could answer through this sheet seen on the screen. They could test 8 images, and then they would answer with the answer they got from the tool. Besides that, I also tested 30 images myself, and I compared these two results with my own. I compared these two to make adjustments to the tool to see if there were any. Yeah. So let's move on to the results. After examining all the images and determining the types of wounds in seals, the tool was developed. I created multiple drafts to determine what worked best, ultimately arriving at the final tool. This tool was then tested, and here are some results provided from the test for the participants. The results showed that there were a few images where the answers were given matched the intended ones. These were images 3, 4, and 7. For the other images, at least one participant provided the correct answer. And for image 1, both participants wrote down a different answer that was intended, but they got the same answer. In the second table, shows reservoir images I tested myself, where I counted some uncertainties in the tool. It was mainly with shark bites and blunt force trauma. Based on the results, several adjustments were made. These were as followed. For image 1, 2, and 5, an additional image was added to make the wound clearer. Also, numbers were added to the images to clarify which image was being referred to in the tool. This is also helpful for people who are, for instance, colorblind or when lighting is not optimal. Also, a section titled "Does the seal appear to be struggling?" was added, and several sections instructions were included for people to contact local veterinarian, wildlife rescue, or rehabilitation center, and to maintain a safe distance from the seal. This was done to raise awareness about how to help seals responsibly. Further, various sentences and sections were expanded to provide more detailed information, and images were enlarged to make the wound easier to see. To make the tool more readable, I enlarged it to divide it into images. So on the left side, this is the left side of the tool. It includes comparisons with the accompanying photos. Each wound type is briefly explained. I chose not to include all information about specific wounds. In very instance, as it would make the tool overly complex and unclear. Instead, the key points were highlighted. And on the right side of the tool, it addresses cases where the wound cannot be compared using the tool and the images. If no wounds are visible but the seal is alive, rabies is discussed. This is important because reporting potential rabies causes in seals are crucial. If the seal is deceased and the wound cannot be identified, a postmortem examination can determine the cause of the death. For living seals, the tool focuses on the wound's appearance. Shell force trauma and blunt force trauma are emphasized as they are the most common wounds. Throughout the tool, there are reminders to keep safe distance from the seal and to contact appropriate organizations if necessary, as I mentioned before. Well, based on this research, it can be concluded that a functional tool has been developed, but still there are some further researches that can be done. So I also got some recommendations. So the first one is to test the tool on live seals to evaluate the practical effectiveness. I could not do that with my own research, uh, but to see if it would really work, this can be a good step to do. The second recommendation I got was to develop a booklet to provide supplementary information about seals, their wounds, rabies, and the importance of maintaining distance. This would complete the tool with more in-depth explanations, since I had to um, uh, sort out the most important information and the information that is useful but will be too much to put into the tool. And the last one is to digitize the tool. This will be useful for people to for people just in general. More people can use it. Maybe it will be easier for use. So yeah, these were my recommendations. And this also concludes my presentation on the research. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much for sharing, Myrthe. So Myrthe actually did present this to a live audience on the 20th of January, and there were a few questions. So I'm just going to propose them to her again today. So one of her study participants, a veterinarian, he asked her whether there are any gaps in the knowledge about wounds or if she's found any unique wound patterns during her study that she feels we don't know enough about yet.
Yeah, so to answer that question, um, I did not really find new wounds that are unknown, although there were quite a few injuries and wounds like shark bites or scavenger hunting, like jackals. It was really difficult to find uh, a good research on it. So I did find some information where I could verify and put it into the tool to make sure I put in correct information. Although it was quite difficult to find more information about it, since like blunt force trauma, shell force trauma, those are really known injuries, since they are also found in humans. So there's a lot of information can find about those. But yeah, to answer your question, I did not really find some wounds that are new, but there are some wounds that can be more research on.
Mm. Okay, so there's kind of a bit of a gap in the research in terms of wound identification, but for the most part, you were able to find that the wound patterns were quite distinguishable, actually. So your tool could actually categorize them quite well.
Yes.
Okay. And then I remember there was another question as well. When you talk about sort of future research recommendations, you mentioned digitizing your sort of decision tree. what does this look like? Is it like the form of an app, or what do you visualize for it in terms of digitizing?
I do visualize it to make an app, um, since you can try to develop the app to either include other animals, but also maybe the app could identify the wound for you, since you can put in all the information about wounds and make it where it can compare the images with each other. So I think an app would be easiest to make, and that is also more accessible for people, since they can just download it and use it to identify wounds on, well, not only seals, but maybe even other animals.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that would be extremely helpful from a practical standpoint. But okay, those are all the questions I have on my side. I think for our virtual audience at home, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below and we'll get Myrthe to answer it for you in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much, Myrthe, for sharing your research. I think this is a very unique stepping stone within the industry, and I think a lot of cool research can stem from it. So thank you so much for getting up on this platform and sharing with us. And for our digital
Yeah,
audience,
thank you very
let us
much.
know in the comments below if you want to see more of our student research that gets conducted at the Academy and whether you've enjoyed this research webinar. But yeah, thank you, Myrthe, and all the best for your future studies.
Yeah, thank you.